Listen to this. The way of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, which shines ever brighter until the full light of day. This reminds me of a time when I was driving to Texas with Pastor James, and we stopped in the middle of the night to take some rest. We slept there in the car for like an hour in the middle of nowhere. Started the car up, turned around, and were presented with this beautiful sunrise. And it was spectacular. But the thing about this is, what it's saying is, it shines ever brighter until the full light of day. What you get in the sunrise is you get the initial, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until the day is just bright. That's what the way of the righteous is like. It gets brighter, it gets stronger. It doesn't fizzle out, right? It's not kind of bright and then gets dark. But then it says this, okay? And that's an important point to contrast with, because I actually have something to say about all of this stuff. But it says, but the way of the wicked is like total darkness. They have no idea what they're stumbling over. Okay? I have another experience where, when I lived in Idaho years ago, we went to a place and we slept overnight in a cave, okay? It was called Dead Horse Cave. And I have no idea where it was, just in the middle of nowhere. We slept in that cave and it was dark in there. You could see nothing, okay? Couldn't, you knew your hand was there, but you couldn't see it. There was not a shadow, because everything was complete darkness. And if you've ever been in that kind of darkness, it's unnerving, right? And you're just, if something happened, of course we had flashlights and stuff, but if you lost your flashlight, you're going to be hurting, like trying to figure out where things are. This is the contrast between these two things, the way of the righteous versus the way of the wicked. One is light, one is showing life and light, it's truth, right? And the other is darkness, and darkness is evil and lies. And this is very important, because what we're seeing right now, okay, in the world is this kind of darkness, right? It's becoming, the world is not a place of truth, right? It's not a place of light. It's not. It's a dark place. It's getting darker and darker as time goes on. And even today, having talked through these concepts of artificial intelligence, the impact of artificial intelligence on popular society, talking about the church and how the church is also just falling in with so much worldly ideas, falling in, how much of the church collapsed at times when it should have responded in strength. All of this, part of me is kind of saddened by all of this. Part of me is kind of discouraged by all of it. But the thing is, I keep coming to the same conclusion, right? I keep coming to this thing. And the thing is this: people, we need to know God's word, okay? We need to know God's word, because that is our safety net from all of this mess, okay? Right now, less and less people even know how to think. Like, our society is completely attached at the hip to the internet and to all of the information there. It's attached at the hip to all of that. and that is being messed with. It's being tweaked, it's being refined. All kinds of things are being done to it, but it's not truth. It's full of lies, it's full of corruption, and it's full of darkness, okay? And it's kind of interesting. Even this video I'm shooting, the only way anybody's going to hear what I'm talking about, other than the people that a few minutes ago I was sitting here in my living room talking with them, right? And we were talking about these subjects, but those two people are gone out. And now the only way anybody's going to hear this message is by going on the internet. Um, it's interesting. It's hard to believe that this has happened so fast, considering I've lived a large portion of my life not even owning a cell phone. We grew up without all of this technology. We didn't have all of these things. I remember the days when a VCR cost more than $1,000. You didn't buy them. Most people just rented one for the night and watched a movie with you rented a VCR and the movie, and you brought it home and you watched it or whatever. Like, we went from that to now to the point where you have it right there on your phone. So much has changed. And one of the scariest things that I'm looking at right now, and that I observe over and over and over, is that our society is completely prepared to embrace deception. And why I say that is because right now, most people completely look to their source of information and their source of finding truth or finding answers as the internet. And the internet is just tons of darkness. It's full of corruption. There's obviously, like, if your microwave breaks, this happened to me, the door on the microwave broke. I typed it in, microwave door broke, this model. There was the fix right there. It's obvious to see how this has happened, how we got there, but this is where our world is right now. People are just conditioned to go online and find something out. Even in conversations, like, you'll sit around and have a conversation, and in a conversation somebody will ask their phone, or they will look up an answer to a question or something that comes up in that conversation. It's Our society and our world is getting more and more and more connected, and worst of all, they're becoming more and more and more trusting of this technology. When television first was coming out, people had this saying back then. They said, only believe half of what you hear and none of what you see, or something like that. Or maybe it's the other half of what you see and none of what you hear, or something like that. There was not a general trust for that technology, because they knew somebody could manipulate it, they could tweak it, they could change it. We're in the place now where everybody knows this stuff's being manipulated. Everybody knows that there's computers, algorithms, all of these things that are driving the information. They're driving it in a direction, and people don't seem to care. The world embraces it regardless. And our world is getting, it's getting dark. It's getting dark. It's getting to this point. The way of the wicked is like total darkness. They have no idea what they are stumbling over. I think we're already seeing the evidence of this stumbling happening right now, because the world is acting like it has all of the answers, and yet you see the fallout in our society increasing and increasing and increasing. People are in society in general are getting less stable. There's more mental health issues. There's more confusion in the world. Even though we have more information and more data than we've ever had, we should have, so many things figured out here, and we don't. It's actually getting darker. Things are digressing. They're going the wrong direction. And I just want to encourage everybody. Again, this is still the same point. We need to know God's word. Why? Because the truth of God's word is still pointing us in the right direction. It's still giving us hope. It's still giving us life. And we have it written in a form where they're not able to manipulate it. Oh, people have tried. They've tried to reinvent it. They've tried to rewrite it. They've tried to edit it down. But still, God's word speaks powerfully to us. So make sure you know God's word. Take some time to learn God's word. May the Lord richly bless you.